right, hello everyone. My name is Cody, and I hope you're ready to play some Burn in Modern. So, we are going to be taking Burn through a league in Modern today. There have been some changes to the Burn list since Ikoria has come out, so we're going to do a quick deck tech before we get into our league. The biggest change being that we are playing Lurrus of the Dream Den as a companion. Lots of Lurrus decks popping up around Modern, and we are going to be one of those decks as well. A lot of the usual suspects here for Burn, we have 4 Monastery Swiftspear, 4 Goblin Guide, 4 Eidolon of the Great Revel, as well as 1 Grim Lavamancer. Grim Lavamancer is doing a little bit better in the meta recently since there are a bunch of Lurrus decks wandering around. As normal, we kind of have our Lightning Bolt suite. We have 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Lava Spikes, and 4 Skewer the Critics, the bread and butter of Burn. 1 mana, deal 3 damage to any target. The big notable change for Burn has been we have cut Rift Bolt entirely, and we are instead running a playset of Seal of Fire. So Seal of Fire has a really great interaction with Lurrus, where essentially once we get Lurrus out every single turn, we can pay 1 mana to deal 2 damage to any target. Burn loses the game whenever our opponent is able to stabilize and we start top decking with them at a life total higher than 3. What Seal of Fire allows us to do is kind of push through damage in the mid to late game. That's always been a bit of a problem with Burn. Either you are compromising your early game to try to play a mid to late game, or if you ever get to that mid to late game because you're so focused on the early game that it's impossible for you to win. Lurrus allows us to do both. Seal of Fire is still a fine card regardless. 1 mana, deal 2. Not the best rate. Still triggers prowess for our Monastery Swiftspear. Still counts, as a direct damage spell because it's dealing damage to any target. So there are games that we'll see this league where we'll probably never cast Lurrus and we'll be able to win in the first 3 to 4 turns of the game. But if that game does go long, we're going to be able to use Lurrus to get back things like Eidolon and the matchups where those are important, any of our aggressive creatures, or being able to loop a Seal of Fire later in the game. There are some Burn lists that are, instead of running Seal of Fire, running a Mishra's Bauble, or some lists that are even running both. I have opted not to go with Mishra's Bauble here for one of 2 reasons. The first one is a bit more of a economical reason. To get a playset of Mishra's Bauble is going to be close to $200 US, which I am not willing to spend on Bauble at this time. The other reason being, I don't even think it's the best thing that we can be doing in the Burn deck, because what is Mishra's Bauble going to do? It's going to allow you to draw a card every other it's going to allow you to draw a card on your opponent's turn, or drawing you a card delayed a turn later. And what are we hoping to draw when we do draw a card off of Mishra's Bauble? Typically, it's one of these burn spells, right? We're hoping to Mishra's Bauble into more gas, more Lightning Bolts, Lava Spikes, Skewer the Critics. So instead of just going the route of trying to loop a Mishra's Bauble and hoping to draw more gas, let's just have every card in the deck be aggressive, right? Because us paying 1 mana to deal 2 damage is pretty much the same thing as us looping Mishra's Bauble over and over again. So that's kind of my thought process behind it. Although there is something to say about getting to slam down a Swiftspear on turn 1, play 1 to 2 Mishra's Baubles, and attack for 3. So I don't know quite which one is more correct than the other, but I think us not playing Bauble and just running a playset of Seal of Fire is going to be enough. Going over here to the sideboard, a lot of the usual suspects you would see here for a Burn sideboard. We have 3 Smash to Smithereens, 3 Path to Exile, 2 Skullcrack, 2 Hushbringer, 2 Core Firewalker, and 2 Grafdigger's Cage. We have the Grafdigger's Cage over the normal Burn Graveyard Hate, which would normally be Rest in Peace. Because of Lurrus, we're going to be wanting to dig into our own graveyard at times. So Grafdigger's Cage is going to be probably enough to get us there most of the time. We are running 2 Core Firewalker. Burn is getting an increasing presence in the meta, so having a way to combat the mirror match is going to be pretty important. Hushbringer, this one's a bit more of my own flavor of spice. I really like Hushbringer against the humans matchup. Just completely turns their whole deck off and allows us to win, because humans can really do a beating on us by stripping away our hand and restricting the types of spells that we can play. So having a Hushbringer to shut off their Champion of the Parish, shut off their Reflector Mages, shut off their Thalia's lieutenants. Everything like that's going to be really strong there. And Hushbringer is honestly fine in the Titan matchups as well. Getting to stop them from essentially winning the game when they play their Primeval Titan is going to be nice. Going to give us that extra turn that we might need to answer that threat. We have some Skull Cracks. There have been more of the Thopter Sword deck running around, as well as just other people bringing in life gain because burn is such a big part of the meta. So having some Skull Cracks to combat that going to be pretty important. And besides that, the usuals, Path and Smash, are ones that we are very used to seeing in the burn sideboard. My philosophy with like the sideboarding, especially for burn, is that you want your sideboard cards to have this immediate giant impact when they come in, because every card that we bring in is diluting our game plan in some way. Even cards like Smash to Smithereens or Skullcrack, 2 mana to deal 3 isn't the best, but we're getting this added benefit of destroying an artifact, stopping them from gaining life. Or Core Firewalker can straight up end the game against other red decks. Path to Exile can end the game against people that are trying to attack us with one creature, right? So like things like Path and Hushbringer and Grafdigger's Cage wildly swing the game in our favor when they hit the battlefield. We don't have room in our sideboard for medium sideboard cards. We need every sideboard card that we play to have an immediate massive impact on the game. So with that said, we are going to be going over to our league. And that being said, if anyone has any questions about the deck, about our play decisions, please let me know in that chat. I will be sure to respond to it. As we wait for our first opponent. I think Burn is pretty well positioned right now. I think there's definitely a lot of good things that is happening for Burn in the current meta. We're really able to run over a lot of the other companion decks. A lot of the Lurrus and Yorion decks, I don't think quite have the velocity that we do. We're able to close the game out pretty quickly, and a lot of the things that we don't like to see is on a bit of a downswing. So overall, I think we're in a really good spot for Burn. All right, we have won the die roll, and we will like to play first. Gonna reveal our Lurrus. All right, this is a pretty okay hand. We have the mana to cast our Lurrus. Okay, so we're up against a Yorion deck. That's pretty important. Typically, these Yorion decks are more of the control variety, in which Searing Blaze is not a great card for other types of decks. I think I'm going to throw this hand back. Okay, we have 1 land, but it's a pretty aggressive hand. We can essentially cast almost everything in our hand with just this 1 mana. We are going to keep it, and I think we're going to throw back a Seal of Fire. Definitely, or you know what? We're going to throw back the Lightning Helix. It's the one spell that we can't cast, so even if we're stuck on 1 land for a while, I'm more okay with that. All right. So we're definitely going to start. We're probably going to fetch Shock just because we want to make sure that we have that white mana. And we're going to be getting in there for 1. Let's see what we're up against. Lots of options with these. The Yorion versus Lurrus decks are getting pretty common, so it's a little bit harder to tell from the get-go what deck we're up against. All right, I see a snow-covered island. Probably an engineered explosives on 1. Yikes. All right. This seems to be a control deck. We do hit our 2nd land, so I think the plan is going to be we're going to fetch out a mountain. And I think the plan is going to be we're going to cast a Seal of Fire and then immediately sack it to get the Skewer the Critics online. And then we will be attacking for 3. Now again, imagine if these Sealifiers had been Rift Bolts. The chances of us getting to get in that extra damage goes way down because of this turn 1 engineered explosives. At least with these Sealifiers, we were able to get in with a bunch of extra prowess damage that we wouldn't have been able to do if these were Rift Bolts. The synergy with Lurrus is just kind of a bonus. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll see if they play anything. If they don't, or if they play something and they don't have the mana to crack this engineer explosives, we're going to be able to get them down to, and let's see, they go to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, they just cracked the engineer explosives. So we're going to be able to hit them for quite a bit this turn, hit them for another 5 with this lava spike. So game is getting pretty close to being over if they don't start doing something. So we just need to draw any burn spell next turn and we can pretty much win the game. I'm going to hang on to the Sealifier just in case we draw a Skewer the Critics and we want to turn on Spectacle. A Spreading Seas on our mountain, or on our Sacred Foundry. So that's not very good for us in terms of getting to cast our Lurrus, which we might need to do to start looping a Sealifier. However, them not really doing anything feels pretty good though. See what we draw. Lightning Bolt's a good one. I guess what we are worried about is if they just slam down another Spreading Seas. If they can hit both of our lands, we're going to be in trouble. I'm going to go ahead and use this Lightning Bolt. Because if we Lightning Bolt them, it's going to turn off their fetch. They're not going to be able to fetch anymore. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to pass the turn. Again, the reason why we're not going to crack the Sealifier is in case we draw a Skewer the Critics next turn, or in case we can get them to maybe misclick and fetch, thinking that they're okay. They just kind of forget about this this Sealifier, and then we can win the game that way. Play a Mystic Sanctuary, not enough. So again, we've been able to, on the 4th turn of the game, pressure their life total so much that they can't fetch. So their Mystic Sanctuaries aren't doing what they want them to do. All right. Going to our turn. See what we get. Eidolon is not a good draw, but it shouldn't matter. If this Sealifier resolves, we will be winning the game. Okay, which it does. So we get there game 1. This is a Mystic Sanctuary type control deck. So we really don't want to dilute our game plan too much at all. I feel pretty confident bringing in these Skullcracks and taking out these Searing Blazes. We do not want Searing Blaze. We need 2 more cards. We could bring in a Smash to Smithereens because we saw that Pyrite Spellbomb, and I'm sure there's some Arkham Astrolabe that they'll be playing. So Smash might not be the worst thing. Or we could get a Grafdigger's Cage. Although Grafdigger's Cage doesn't interact well with Mystic Sanctuary, they still get to target the card and put it back on top of their library. So I guess this is a situation where a Rest in Peace or a Soul Guide Lantern would have been a bit of a better option. So I think with that in mind, although there's an argument for Hushbringer too, being able to turn off Snapcaster Mage, and then this doubles as a threat where even if we draw Smash and they don't have anything good in their hand, then it's just rotting away in our hand. At least Hushbringer we can use as a beater if we need to. We'll do that. We're going to bring in the Hushbringer, and if we see something game 2 that really frightens us, then we can switch over to the Smash to Smithereens for game 3. So we're going to, once again, reveal our Lurrus. So the good news is that Yorion is not going to be doing a whole lot for him. The chances of them getting to 5 mana to cast that is not high. Let's see. This is a pretty good hand. We don't have a turn 1 creature, but we do have this Eidolon. And considering that, their spells are pretty low impact in terms of, what they're doing, this Eidolon's going to be pretty good. So we're going to keep it. The plan will probably be turn 1, we will shock in the Sacred Foundry, we'll Lava Spike them, then turn 2 Eidolon, and then turn 3 we'll try to deal some damage from there. Snow-covered forest. A goose. The goose is loose. So, actually not the worst thing that we did not have a turn 1 creature, because it would have been stone wall blocked by this gilded goose. Except for Goblin Guide. Goblin Guide would have been fine. We're going to mountain. We're going to lava spike him. Pass the turn. So we're definitely going to be throwing down this Eidolon next turn. The food is not the best thing for us to see over there. Like, chances are they're going to use it for mana, but them being able to start creating food and gaining 3 life is not going to be the best for us. Another lava spike. That's what we like to see. Gonna fetch out another basic. Want to save the gonna save the Sacred Foundry and play that as one of our later lands. There's a chance we're walking into counter magic right here, but I'd rather them counter an Eidolon than... Okay, they're just going to play an Ice Fang Quaddle. And then we'll pass the turn. Depending on... So this Eidolon will probably just sit here the rest of the game, but there's a decent chance that if they start trying to attack with this Ice Fang Quaddle, that we will start attacking with our Eidolon. Okay, they're just going to bolt it, so... Which is okay, because we have the ability to get Lurrus on the board. If we can draw another land, maybe on turn 5 we can go Lurrus Eidolon. Or we can just cast another one. So we're going to shock in a Sacred Foundry. I want to save this fetch land to see if we can draw into another white source. So let's see. I think we're going to Lava Spike them first. And then we are going to play this Eidolon. They're going to play another... Oh, they're going to create a food. So they're good. So they're really trying to get these food online. The good news is that we have 6 damage in our hand. So either they are going to do nothing and gain life off of their food, or if they go to do something, we could close out the game very quickly, especially if we draw another lightning bolt effect next turn. Or a Skull Crack would be really nice for us to draw. Being able to blank one of their food would be really nice. One to both of their food. But we will just have to see. So definitely the predicament that we have put them in. We've put them in a spot where they are having to choose between playing things and holding up, cracking their food. Because if they play something, they're going to be taking 2 off of the Eidolon, which is going to get them very close to dying. If we draw a lightning bolt and they play anything, we'll win the game. Or if they do nothing to hold up this food, it's giving us more time to draw into burn spells. They're not attacking. They want to have us not attack with our Eidolon. See what we draw. Goblin Guide. Guide's a good one. We'll play this Bloodstained Mire. We're going to cast our Goblin Guide. We are going to attack with our Goblin Guide. We're going to hold back on the Eidolon. We want to keep it. Prevent them from going crazy on their spells. A Galvantic Blast. So they do have an answer to our Eidolon or anything else that we play. They are going to block. There is an argument to Lightning Bolt this Gilded Goose because they'll just get to create... They're going to create a food here on the end step, and then they can create a food next turn. Essentially, they can just start... Because we're running low on gas, and if we get to a point where we are just... top decking and they're able to create a food and crack a food every turn, then the game's going to be over. So we might actually lightning bolt this Gilded Goose. We'll start off by lightning bolt them. And we're gonna kill this goose. Are they going to counter it? No, they're just going to create a food token. So that's the thing, right? We could have hit them to 7, but then they were going to create a food anyway, and now then they could crack 2 food on their turn to gain 6 life. So now that we are top decking, we need to make sure that they are not able to constantly gain life. We'll probably on the instep fetch with this Bloodstained Mire, and we'll get a Sacred Foundry tapped, and then we can maybe Lurrus into Goblin Guide next turn. Or if we draw a land, I might even Lurrus into Eidolon. They're going to play their Yorion, which doesn't do too much. It's going to blink what? They're nothing. They blink their food tokens, they lose them. So, although Yorion is a clock, it is a clock. They'll just be able to start hitting us for 4, and so we're going to need to close out the game here pretty quick. No, we wouldn't. We do not want to pay 2 life. Arid Mesa. So we could go Lurrus into Eidolon, although that's going to be quite a bit of damage. We're going to cast our Lurrus. So let's see. They hit us to if we cast this Goblin Guide, they'll hit us to 2. Because we'll be at 6. Oh no, but they have that Galvanic Blast in their hand. 4. Galvanic Blast deals 2 damage, 4 if they control 3 artifacts, but they don't. So they actually have 6 in hand, so we can't actually cast this Goblin Guide. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to combat. I think we're gonna just pass actually. Play this Arid Mesa and pass. So yeah, it looks like they're just going to go to attack. Although the good news is that we're going to get to attack with our Lurrus and gain 3 life, which will be really nice. So they hit us for 4. We go to 4. A Misty. So depends on what they wind up doing. It's gonna be tight because we get to attack them for 5 this next turn, gain 3 life. Lightning Bolt is a decent draw. 5. We need them to cast something. If we can get them to cast something, then this Lightning Bolt can be lethal. But I wouldn't be surprised if they had a Cryptic Command or something. No, they don't. So we're gonna attack in. They're going to flash in a... No, they're just going to crack a food. Okay. Going to Galvanic Blast our Lurrus. Okay. That's no good. So that's probably going to be it. Just them being able to use that Gilded Goose to create a bunch of food is what did it for us. So we're most likely going to be going to game 3. Because we have no way to answer this Yorion. So we're going to be going to game 3. Going back over to the sideboard. Maybe we could bring in some Path to answer a Yorion. Maybe I don't like Searing Blaze a whole lot, but we could answer a Gilded Goose with it, but no, it just depends on if they have that goose or not, right? That's the big thing. So, I definitely like the Hushbringers for the Yorion and for anything else that they might have. Like if we can play a Hushbringer and they draw a goose later in the game, we can shut off that food. So I think I want to run it back like this, but I do see an argument to bringing in Path to Exile. We would like to play first. If we can get a turn 1 creature and some decent follow-up, I think we'll be fine. And we'll know make sure that they don't get going with that Gilded Goose. This is great. Turn 1 creature. We have 3 lands. That's Lurrus mana. We have some follow-up. We can go turn 2 Eidolon. We have 7 damage in hand. I like it. We're going to keep it. We are pretty good on lands, though. I don't want to draw more lands. I think that also shows how big of a threat that Yorion can be. The fact that it can just start doming us for 4 and we really have no way of interacting with it because of its 5 toughness. I think it does show that we can't just be willy-nilly about our Eidolon. That we need to deploy it with some good follow-up, which we do. So we're going to attack for 2. See what they got on top of their library. Arkham's Astrolabe. Which I would imagine is going to be their turn 1 play. An Abundant Growth. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. The land taps for 1 mana of any color. Interesting. So they do still have that Astrolabe in hand. Not super familiar with this build, so they might be up to something that I'm not aware of. First thing we're going to do is just go to attack. Pretty free to do that. We can see what they have. Another Abundant Growth. So they're going to have lots of mana. Now let's see. Do we want to play this Eidolon, or do we want to have one of our burn spells up? I think we want to play this Eidolon, because either they start playing their enablers like these Abundant Growths or their Arkham's Astrolabes, or they have to answer this Eidolon. Both of which are pretty good for us. If they're spending their time to remove Eidolon, we feel pretty good about it. If they are spending their time to not to ignore it and just play their things anyway, they're going to be taking lots of damage off of it, both of which we are super okay with. Especially because we have good follow-up in our hand. We have a good 9 damage in our hand. Okay, they aren't doing anything. They have passed the turn. So that's good for us. Eidolon seems to be slowing them down a little bit. That's a great draw, that Lava Spike. It allows us to this turn go 2-drop, 1-drop, and then next turn go 2-drop, 1-drop, and that should hopefully be the game. But we're gonna go to attack first. We have no prowess, guys. We have no reason to be playing on our first main phase. So maybe we can get them to commit to killing this Eidolon, which will save us some life, or they'll just take it, which would be good for us anyway. A Weather the Storm. That's not good. We don't like that. We do not like a Weather the Storm. Although the good news is now they can't. I mean, they can fetch, or they don't have to fetch right now. It'd be nice if they did get rid of this Weather the Storm. So that makes me want to deploy all my things. I want to make it where they don't. Okay, so we're not going to see this Weather the Storm because they're fetching, which makes me happy because that Weather the Storm could be backbreaking. That probably means they're going to hold up some sort of counter spell here. Aether Gust, the Eidolon back on top. Are we okay with that? I mean, we don't really have much of a choice. Do we want to draw this Eidolon again or not is the question. We have enough damage in our... Oh, they're going to put it on top, so we shuffle it away. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Got it. Doesn't matter then. We'll put it on top. But I don't think we really care too much about that. We'll go ahead and get a Sacred Foundry in case we draw another mountain or another fetch so we can then play Lurrus. Because we do have the Seal of Fire. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to, while they're tapped out... We'll Boros Charm them for 4. We will Lava Spike them for 3. The reason why we're going to do that over the Seal of Fire is now they can't fetch anymore. If they need more mana and they just have a fetch land in hand, too bad. Which will be good for us. Arkham's Astrolabe, we're fine with that. They have 3 mana. That is enough for Gilded Goose plus Crack the Food, but I don't think that'll be enough. We have 5 damage in hand. Okay, yeah, that's not going to be enough. Put it on the top. Why not? That is not enough. So looks like we get to pick up this first game. Unless, they could have like a Force Negation or something, but come on. So we'll start with the Seal of Fire. We'll see if they... Okay. And that's the game. We pick up game 1 over... What is that? I guess that's over a snow control deck. We'll be jumping into game number 2. Hello, Lantern. Hello. Welcome. I must have missed that earlier. Hello. A 60 card deck, which we are fine with. No Yorion here. Get to reveal our Lurrus. It looks like they have a companion as well. Let's see what it is. It is an opposing Lurrus deck, so there's a decent chance that this could be the mirror match, or it could be any of 13 other matchups. Is a pretty creature heavy hand, but I do like the idea against maybe a slower Lurrus deck, going Goblin Guide, plus Lavamancer, or a second Goblin Guide, Seal of Fire. Like, I'm definitely liking this hand. We're going to keep it. We have 2 lands and a bunch of things to do. Sounds good to me. Oh no, Bogles. That's the opposite of what I wanted. Ugh. All right, Bogles is definitely the absolute worst matchup for Burn. Worst matchup ever. Because they can outrace us sometimes, or that if they just get to play that Daybreak Coronet, we just lose the game. Thank God they did not play that. They don't have ley lines in the main deck. Otherwise, we could be really donezo. So the only option we have is to just be uber super duper aggressive. Like, we have to bring the pain and we got to bring it fast. So we're going to be leading on Goblin Guide. And then next turn is going to be Goblin Guide, Seal of Fire. Like, we don't have time to... Like, this Grim Lavamancer is going to be the last thing that we play. No Daybreak Coronet. Glade Cover Scout. Excellent. So we just need to bring the hurt. Let's see. Next turn we can get 2, 4. We can get 6 damage in. Next turn we can get 7. Them not taking damage off their mana base is pretty bad. Core Spirit Dancer. Do we care about this? I think we do. We don't want them to draw a bunch of cards. We might have to kill this. And getting a Seal of Fire is pretty good too. So we'll start like this. We'll play the Goblin Guide. We will go to attack. We'll see if they chump block, which is a thing that they might do, right? They might just block our Core Spirit Dancer for the sake of not taking 2 damage, which if they do, hey, we're definitely fine with that. We are going to go to attack. We're going to swing in. Oh no, turn off auto yields. We don't want to do that. A forest, so we draw them a card. And no, we drew them 2 cards. That is not good. It's not so much them drawing extra cards, it's them getting to dig deeper in their deck. Like, if we could have blanked 2 of their draw steps with lands, that would have been excellent for us. I don't like... Just because we dug them so deep, I don't want them to get to draw 3 cards this next turn, so I think we are just going to have to cast a Seal of Fire to get rid of this Spirit Dancer. Because that's on cast, yeah. So we just gotta get that out of here right now. So if they don't just annihilate us here in the next turn or 2, next turn we're going to do Helix plus Seal of Fire. Then maybe the next turn we can start looping a Seal of Fire back with Lurrus, which would be nice. Maybe I should have cast that Grim Lavamancer. Maybe Lavamancer is what we need. Okay, they get to draw a card. Okay, Griffspoon on the Slippery Bogle. Although the good news is they have all of these value cards, and they weren't able to just come out of the gate really fast and bogle us out. Although, unfortunately, our sideboard is not built for this matchup. Normally, I would really love some Deflecting Palms, some Wear-Tear type effects. This Searing Blaze is actually going to do some work. Target them. Target this Core Spirit Dancer. And we have Landfall, so... get to smack them with that. I might just deploy this Lava Man so we can start attacking with it. But, yeah, I think that's going to be the play. Because we can either attack with it or make it where if we draw a land, we can double spell plus activate the Lavamancer. Or push comes to shove and they just suit up this Bogle a little bit more. We'll get to smack them with it. Another forest. Please don't be another. Okay, Griffspoon. So they have 6 cards in hand. We know 2 of them are lands. One of them's a Glade Cover Scout, and one of them's a Griffspoon. They have 2 unknowns. There is a decent chance that we just get not Spirit Mantled, Daybreak Coroneted next turn, and then the game's just over. But we'll have to see. There comes a forest. There goes the scout. There's that Griffspoon. They still have one forest in hand. And nothing else. That's interesting. Although we do need to worry about our life total. We're at 10 and we're going to take 2 damage off of these Sunbait Canyons. Like, there's a chance that they don't need Daybreak Coronet. Although we do have this Lightning Helix, which is a big plus. Another Goblin Guide. I guess playing the Goblin Guides is better than the Seal of Fire because I know that this is going to have to go at least one more turn. 5. No, we can just end the game now. We'll play the Goblin Guide. Because they'll take at least 5, and then either Helix or Seal of Fire is enough. Let's see if we draw them into everything that they needed. And all that glitters. So 3 all that glitters are going to be revealed. See what they block. Although they have to block something because that's 7. Let's go for the Lightning Helix. I don't know. I don't think they have any sort of interaction that can stop this Helix. All right, we got him. Game up over Bogles, which is very surprising. Skullcrack is pretty much the only good thing we have. We'll take out 2 Searing Blazes for it. I want to take out all the Searing Blazes because it's pretty much a dead card. No matter, like, they have to play Core Spirit Dancer or a Dryad Arbor for Searing Blaze to be any good. But Path is pretty bad. Grafdigger's Cage is pretty bad because they're definitely going to bring in Leyline of Sanctity. Hushbringer is fine. It can block the guys with Griffspoon, I guess. Core Firewalker is also bad. I don't know. Like, I guess we'll bring in the Hushbringers, take out the Searing Blazes. I would just, like, it did work for us that time, but I don't know. Especially, like, we just got very, very, very fortunate that they had two Core Spirit Dancers in their hand. Let's see if we see a Lurrus. We do not. So they have Leyline of Sanctity in their hands. So we need to be aware of that as we try to mulligan and keep is, do they have a Leyline of Sanctity? They did keep all 7, so there's a slight chance that they don't have it, that their 7, but that means that their 7 is just so good. And this is so slow. This does nothing. This is good. We have creatures. So if they do have Leyline, we can go Goblin Guide, Swift Spear plus Seal of Fire. We'll keep it. I don't know. I like them all. We're going to put Lava Spike on the bottom for the sake that we need 2 lands and our creatures. And just in case they have Leyline, Seal of Fire is going to be a little bit better in that case. Yep, here comes a pregame effect. Yep. Okay, so I feel good about our decision. Lava Spike does literally nothing with a Leyline in play. And at least Seal of Fire is going to give us a prowess trigger. And then we can use Seal of Fire to maybe kill a a Core Spirit Dancer. Another Swift Spear. That's what we want to see. Like, we want to see all of our creatures. If we can just creature out right here, we're going to be doing just fine. So we may just go double Swift Spear next turn. Another creature, which we're fine with. That's what I want to see on both sides. I want to see both of us draw all of our creatures and nothing else. Ethereal Armor, First Strike Hexproof. Please don't be a Rancor. Okay, they're playing that Glade Cover Scout. They're getting in there. There is a chance that they just are going to deploy creatures to slow us down, which is fair. Sunbaked Canyon is okay. I don't like it, but I'll take it. If we get to live long enough, Lurrus might be fine as just like another creature, and especially because we have all these creatures that could prove to be useful. We'll just have to see. We will pass the turn. Oh, no. Okay, good. That's what we want to see. That's blanking another one of their draws. Something spicy we might do next turn is we will play our Seal of Fire. That will beef up our Swift Spears. Oof, that's bad. That's really bad. So they only have 2 lands, which is good. They have a Leyline and 1 unknown card. But they get to hit us for a lot over the next couple turns. So we need to hope that they brick, that they don't draw anything. Or we need to draw some more Goblin Guides. Because they get to hit us for 8 next turn. Guys, is this going to be one of those things where I have to leave a creature back so we don't die to that Glade Cover Scout? Helix, that's a good draw. As much as I want to like play Seal of Fire, prowess triggers on our Swift Spear, then play Lightning Bolt, bolting one of our Swift Spears, because with the prowess trigger it won't die, and then attack for 3, 6, 7, 8. Like, as much as I want to do that, it's just not enough for us to win the game. And if we do that, we're taking 1, going to 8, and then they have 8 power on board. So does this have protection from? No, it just has First Strike. So maybe we do leave a Swift Spear back. Maybe that is a thing that we do. Just because No, we have to be aggressive. We don't have time to like waste our time. So we're gonna swing in. Maybe we can get them to block with a Glade Cover Scout. That would be nice. Hyena Umbra. +1/+1 and first strike. If we get them to block, that's not the worst thing in the world. They're going to block the Goblin Guide. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to Lightning Helix them for the prowess triggers. Oh, we can't. Fuck. We could Helix our own Goblin Guide to get in for 4. And it gains us 3 life. That's that. I forgot about the Leyline. We're just going to let this go to damage. And then we're just going to... We're just going to wait and see what they do. But we're probably going to have to, like, Helix our own Goblin Guide to not die this turn. We're going to be at 8. We'll gain 3 up to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not looking good. All right, so we have to Lightning Helix our own Goblin Guide to not die. Eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I was gonna say maybe we did mess up there by not getting those prowess triggers last turn. But if we did that, then this would have been lethal. I don't see how we can win the game this turn. All right, they got us. Bogles gets us. What a surprise. Yeah, Bogles is just a really rough matchup for Burn. Did anything change my mind there for sideboarding? It doesn't. They don't really have any artifacts. They didn't use Grafdigger's Cage. Yep, so even though this Hushbringer is like not shutting off any of their creatures, it's still just like something for us to do that Searing Blaze is not going to get us to do. We do want to play first. Reveal this Lurrus. Well, that's a bad start. When they mulligan, they are mulliganing to 6. So the further they mulligan, the more likely they are to have a Leyline. Versus like sometimes if they keep 7, you're able to get lucky and they're like it's a quote unquote a strong 7 for them. I do like this. We have we have a creature. We have Skullcrack to prevent damage. Eidolon is pretty good. I think we're gonna put the Boros Charm on the bottom just to be mana efficient. We'll put the Boros Charm on the bottom. If we can get lucky and they don't have a Leyline, we'll be able to win this. Maybe. Getting to go Eidolon on the play is pretty good because just so much of their deck is under 3 mana. So, ooh, they're mulling to 4. That's really nice. So, decent chance that even if they have Leyline, everything else is just not going to be enough. Okay, sure. You have a Leyline. Unless the rest of their hand is land, Bogle, like Spirit Man, or like the third time I've bricked on that. Unless they have a Daybreak Coronet in hand, it's like there's no way they're winning with 3 cards in hand. So we get lucky that we have a creature, and that they just take such a hefty mulligan for Leyline. Even without Leyline, I would say that they're pretty favored. I don't think that they like need to mulligan to Leyline. Like, because they can just race us, and like if they play Daybreak Coronet, like literally the game's over. I would be more so mulliganing to Daybreak Coronet than I am to Leyline of Sanctity. All right, they have a Bogle. They have 2 cards in hand. God, that's an excellent draw. Goblin Guide is what we wanted to see. Um, as much as I want to play Goblin Guide, Seal of Fire, attack for 4, but I kind of want to just play this Eidolon and like punish them really bad, like make it where they can't play anything without it really hurting. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play Eidolon. We're gonna attack. Because they have 2 cards in hand, they're not going to be pressuring us super quickly, so like we can afford to take damage off of this Eidolon next turn. What do they got? They got an All That Glitters. So they have 1 card in hand, and like unless that 1 card is Daybreak Coronet, I think we're going to be fine. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. We can hit him for 6 next turn. I guess, because like that's what we lose to, right? We lose to Daybreak Coronet. So like, do we just hold up the Skullcrack? I don't think we do. Like, I don't think it's enough. Arid Mesa is fine. We're gonna Goblin Guide. We're gonna Seal of Fire. And because we can't target them, we're just going to hold on to it. Maybe we get lucky and they play a Core Firewalker, or not Core Firewalker, Core Spirit Dancer, and we're able to activate it. Attacking for 6. Cartouche of Solidarity. They create a soldier. All right, we hit him to 7. Do they have it? Although, doesn't Daybreak Coronet cost double white? So, they might not have it. Taking 2 off the Cartouche. So, good news. We get to use the Seal of Fire. We are going to kill that token like nobody's business. So, they're not attacking because they know that they'll lose the game if they do. I would like to see either another creature or like another Seal of Fire. Skewer doesn't quite do it. I should have fetched on the end step. Then I could play Lurrus this turn, and then we can like get Lurrus out and then just kind of sit on it. So I think the plan is we still have to crack this Seal of Fire. We need to kill that warrior. It's the only thing we are going to be able to cast that on. The problem is the more time we give them, the worse off we're going to be, simply because of that ley line. But if we just don't attack, we're not going to win the game. If we attack in, they'll block the Eidolon, take 3, go to 2. Then they like, I don't know. It's just tough. I think we will 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fetch. We're gonna cast Lurrus. And then 5, 6, 7. Okay, so actually if they get, Spirit Mantle, we lose the game because then they have protection from creatures that adds +2/+2. So we do lose off of that. I think we're going to pass the turn and then try to win next turn because we want to keep this Eidolon in play. So we have to hope that they literally don't have Spirit Mantle or Daybreak Coronet. If they do not have either of those two, we can win the game. If they have either of those, then it's just too bad. Another Bogle. That's good. Bogle is good. Ethereal Armor. +1/+1. So, yeah. Like, does this guy have Trample? Does not have Trample. Does not have trample or lifelink. So if they swing in, we'll chump block with a Swift Spear and then move on with our day. I might chump block with the Eidolon, actually, just to... Nah. We'll chump block with the Swift Spear and get on with it. All right, we're just going to swing in and win the game. I really hope it's Daybreak Coronet just for like rub-ins. Hyena Umbra. So we do it. We get there against Bogles. Bogles for sure. Like I consider like the worst matchup for Burn. Like I lose against Bogles like 99% of the time. So we got super lucky game one that they kept a very creature heavy hand and we were able to run them over. Game two went exactly how I expected these types of things to go, where they just ran us over. And then we got really lucky that they mulled to 4 game 3. But even then, like that's how bad this matchup is. They mulled to 4. And we still almost lost that game. Like, so that's kind of where, that's definitely where that matchup is. Where like, it takes a really fortunate string of events to happen for us to be able to win that matchup. Right now we are 2-0 against. We beat Snow Control. And then we beat Bogles. And we are headed into round number 3. It is a great time to be a Burn player right now in both Pioneer and Modern. And not so much Legacy, but in Pioneer and Modern, like it's a great time to be a Burn player. Lots of good Burn things are happening. Lurrus has definitely helped us push ahead. And... there is that banned and restricted announcement coming this Monday, and we'll see what happens in the other formats. But, you know, when things are good for us, it's... Oh, God, this is a garbage hand. 6 land... I mean, we do have 2 Sunbait Canyons that we could use to, like, cycle later, but it's like, we're not going to keep a 6 land hand. That is not happening. No Companion there. So, if there's no Companion, that means that we are up against some sort of, like, bigger mana deck that is going to try to run us over super fast. You know, this is a bad hand too. We have the Lavamancer, which is fine, but we have no fetch lands. Like, we have no way of turning this Lavamancer on. I was going to say, I guess we'll keep it, put a fetch land, or put like a mountain on the bottom, but we have no fetches. So, do I want to go to 5? It's like, we can painlessly cast Lurrus. We can go, you know, Inspiring Vantage, Mountain. We'll keep it. I'll put the Sacred Foundry on the bottom. I just like mulling to 5 is just, I don't know. It's like not enough, right? Because then our threat density is so low that we're just like not able to. Oh no. Oh boy. Drawing an Eidolon would be pretty nice here because this is definitely a combo deck. Yep. Underworld. Yeah, we need to draw Eidolon. And we need to draw it like 2 turns ago. So, looking forward to the sideboard. We're definitely going to be bringing in our Smash to Smithereens. Can probably bring in Hushbringer too. Hushbringer might be decent in this matchup. Skewer the Critics is okay. It's like, it's a burn spell, but we want Eidolon, and we want Eidolon right now. Metallic Rebuke. Maybe we'll get lucky and they don't do anything, trying to hold up mana for this Metallic Rebuke, thinking that we're going to play an Eidolon. So hopefully we can. All right, they're just tapping 3. What are they playing? Saheeli. That's going to be pretty good at blanking our Goblin Guide for the rest of the game because they're going to make a 1/1 servo, and they're going to do that every single turn with Mishra's Bauble. Um, Although good news is they do not have the mana to cast that Metallic Rebuke. So if we can draw Eidolon right now, we can maybe we can turn the corner on this game. Searing Blaze is actually not the worst thing in the world. So we'll go Inspiring Vantage. We're going to Searing Blaze. Oh, really? This can target a Planeswalker now? Oh my god, that's really good. We might just go after this Saheeli, because I don't want... No, we got... Come on now. We're gonna get the Imri off the field, actually. I don't want them having that Imri. And then we are going to swing in. We're gonna attack them. What's the negative on this? -2? Arkham's Astrolabe. All right. So next turn is definitely going to be Lava Man plus Skewer. Unless we draw something better. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 10, 11, 12. So we need to find a way to... grinding station. So they have everything they need to start going off, it looks like. Just about. They need an Underworld Breach. And they do have mana for this Metallic Rebuke now. That is a thing that they have. Counter it unless I pay 3. And Imri. She's lurking in the lock. Sacrifice an artifact. Target player puts the top 3 cards of their library into the graveyard. Okay, yeah, because this just goes infinite with any 0 mana spell. Okay. We still need Eidolon. They don't have mana for that Metallic Rebuke because they need a blue mana, and they don't have a blue mana. So we're gonna definitely kill this Imri. We're gonna go Mountain. Kill the Imri. And then, unless they are weird and don't block this Goblin Guide, we're going to cast Skewer the Critic. Or, we're going to cast Lavamancer unless they're weird and don't block the Goblin Guide. In which case, Skewer is going to be the better choice. Okay. So we're going to cast this Lava Man. And we're going to pass the turn. So good news is that all of their creatures have less than 2 toughness, so this Lavamancer can clear out any blockers that gets put in our way, and it's going to be a nice, clean way for us to turn on the Skewer the Critics. For those of you just tuning in, we are going through a Modern League with Lurrus Burn. We are currently 2-0, and we are in the middle of match number 3. Casting an Astrolabe. So, drawing a card. So they are definitely getting to a point where they're going to make a bunch of servos, which is definitely going to make attacking with this Goblin Guide pretty hard. So far we've gotten lucky that they haven't hit lands yet, that we've just been revealing them. I kind of don't want to draw them into lands, because any chance I can dig them deeper is not what we want. They still have Metallic Rebuke mana, unfortunately. This does tap for Planeswalkers, unfortunately. So, no way we're winning next turn. They're just going to counter, like our Skewer the Critics or something like that. So, we are going to have to hope that... Galvanic Blast. That's really good. Okay. What are we getting? Monastery Swiftspear. We like that. they counter it, we can pay for it. Yeah, we're gonna attack in. Attacking at them. Target artifact you control becomes a target of another. Becomes a copy of another target artifact. How am I keeping that beard so perfect and so? Oh no, Thassa's Oracle. That's not good. I actually didn't have the beard when quarantine started. I was rocking just the mustache, and then I just have not shaved since quarantine started. So about a month or so is how long it takes to like grow the beard normal. So if this lasts another month or so, I'm gonna be looking real bad. They double block. We're just gonna cast the Skewer the Critics, and they're gonna counter it, but you know, if we can get the counter spell out of their hand, that's fine. Because like this Skewer the Critics doesn't win the game. Thank you. I appreciate it. I definitely want to like get the big beard, big like handlebar mustache. That's definitely what I'm going for. Okay, so they Metallic Rebuke us, which we're okay with. Because now it means that we might get lucky and draw an Eidolon next turn. And if we can draw an Eidolon, that's going to shut this deck off. Like, I don't see a way for them to win without the combo. Especially with only 2 cards in hand. So, them countering our burn spell is fine. Like, it's not great. Like, it's not optimal. But I would rather them counter Skewer the Critics than counter Eidolon. So, if we draw another land, we'll go Lurrus into Lavamancer. Just because we're going to do something. Seal of Fire is pretty good. We're going to cast it. Get our prowess going. We're going to swing in at them. They might have Cryptic Command, really. 1, 2. Yeah, they have mana for it. Okay. Attack at them. Oh, no. Oh, no. Underworld Breach, that's enough for them to win the game. They have what they have in hand is a Thassa's Oracle. Dang. That's no good. Yeah, of course they're going to double block. I don't see a way for us to win the game now. They definitely got us there. Let's crack the Sunbait Canyon. Let's see if we can, I don't know. Boros Charm. If we get to untap, we'll win the game, but I don't see that happening. Whoa, they're fetching. Got him. Because now that Underworld Breach is not on top of their deck. Is there something I'm missing? Like, is there reveals Underworld? Like, is there something I'm missing? Is there like an optimal reason for them to be fetching right now? Like, unless they just, did they just draw it? Okay. Doesn't matter. Hold on. They reveals Underworld Breach. They just fetched. Man, did they just like get lucky and draw one? We're gonna yield through it, let them go through their combo. We're gonna try to maybe run down the clock a little bit, and then maybe if we can win game 2, we can win by timeout on game 3. Normally, I'm a fan of just like, oh, like you have a combo, let's just like concede. But even in paper, this combo just like takes forever. So we're gonna sit here and get comboed out. We're gonna make them do it. Unfortunately, they definitely got us with that Thassa's Oracle. Really close game. We didn't see Eidolon, unfortunately. Grafdigger's Cage is going to be really nice coming out of the sideboard. We're definitely going to be bringing in our Grafdigger's Cages. We're going to be bringing in our Smash to Smithereens. I need to let me view our sideboard. What does Hushbringer do? It's just creatures entering the battlefield. Okay, so Hushbringer not going to do anything there. We might even bring in our Skullcracks just because they might have some form of like life gain loop in there, and we don't want to get caught off guard by that. And it's not like too many of our burn spells are going to be going to creatures. We got very lucky that we drew some Searing Blazes, so I think that's going to be the plan for next game. So we are getting comboed. Although, you know, you got to make them go through it. Back when KCI was legal, I was playing paper. It was pretty much the same matchup. I was playing Burn. They were playing KCI. They had the combo where they were churning through their whole deck, and then but they messed something up there at the end, and they didn't have the combo piece that they needed to win the game. And then they decked themselves and lost. So it's like it definitely happens where like they can mess up something or tap something wrong, or you know, like gotta make them do it. If you're gonna play a combo deck, I'm gonna make you combo me. You know what I mean? All right, they win the game. That's a good question for you combo players out there. In that scenario where you have this loop online, right, where you're gonna say I'm gonna mill 3 with my grinding station and then recast my whatever. Do you like want to go through the combo, or do you just want your opponent to concede? Because to me it feels like if you're gonna want to play a combo deck, then you like want to go through the combo. But I could be wrong. Maybe people just play it because of the win percentage, not because of the enjoyment of playing combo. I'm not sure. What's our weak link here? We're gonna probably cut Lightning Helix. The life is not gonna matter for us, and a 2 mana deal 3 isn't the best rate. We're gonna keep in Searing Blaze. Gotta cut 3 cards. Since we're bringing in 2 Grafdigger's Cages, we're gonna cut 2 Sealifiers, because there's a decent chance that we might draw Sealifier and Grafdigger's Cage, and Sealifier is just a worse rate like Lightning Bolt. Like, the only benefit of Sealifier is looping it with Lurrus, but if we have Grafdigger's Cages online, we're not going to get to loop it. So we'll take out the Sealifiers, and then we'll cut one more. We'll leave one, because we really want that Grafdigger's Cage, so we'll leave in 1 Sealifier just in case we don't see it. We would like to play first. Revealing our Lurrus. Does this hand do it? We do have a Skullcrack in case of life gain. We have a play turn 1. We have a play turn 2. If we don't draw a land, we have play for turn 3. Like 4, 7, 10. We have 15 damage in our hand. So we're going to keep it. There is an argument that maybe we should mulligan to like Stronger Hate, that we need to like aggressively try to go after an Eidolon or aggressively go after a Grafdigger's Cage. But like this is like the perfect burn hand, right? We have 2 lands, a creature, and a bunch of burn spells. Like it feels like this hand could be good enough to just get us there without us mulling to 5 to guarantee we have a Grafdigger's Cage or guarantee we have an Eidolon just for it to get Galvanic Blasted. If that makes sense. Like, I think this hand is strong enough that we can not have hate cards and still just run them over, right? What's the best defense? A good offense. All right, they're drawing Underworld Breach. Does not feel good. What's the quickest? I mean, I guess the quickest they can combo off is what, turn 2, if they can go. Okay, but they're not going to do that. Another Skullcrack is honestly not what we want, but we're going to get a Sacred Foundry just because having double white for Lurrus in case we need that. We're gonna Boros Charm them. The reason why we're going to Boros Charm instead of double Lightning Bolt is, let's say we draw a land next turn. If we draw a land next turn, we can go Skullcrack plus Lightning Bolt, versus if we had double bolted, we would have 3 2-drops, and we'd only be casting 1 spell. Here we have the ability to still cast our cards. Like this way we get to tap out every single turn regardless of what we draw. Versus if we had played our 2/1 drops, then we're only going to be casting one spell a turn no matter what we draw, right? So this allows us to tap out every single turn, really put the pressure on our opponent. See, like right now they're at 11. We have 12 damage in hand. Like, we need to last to our turn 4 to win the game. Swift Spear speeds that up quite a bit, so we are going to cast a Swift Spear. We're gonna go to attack. We're gonna play optimally. We're gonna swing in, see what they do. Lightning Bolt in response. So we've drawn them some lands. Let's bolt them. They might have a counterspell for it, but that's what it's whatever at this point. We hit him to 4, so if we get to untap, we'll win the game. Weather the storm. Okay. They gain 9 life. That feels so bad. 2 skull cracks in hand. But we wanted to be aggressive, and we got punished for that, right? We definitely, like, were trying to, like, that was their one opportunity, right? They needed to have specifically that, so it feels bad, but we still have 9 damage, 10, 11. We have 12 on board. Like, they're still, like, a ways away from winning the game. So I don't feel like we've lost the game at this point. Most times, if someone gains 9 life against us, the game's over. Okay. They have their grinding station. They do have an Underworld Breach in hand. If they have a 1-drop, we are going to lose the game. Or if they have a 0-drop, we're going to lose this game. 10. We're going to swing in. Let's see. Will this Skullcrack matter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's only 8. It's still not enough. So we're just going to hit him for 4 down to 6. And then we're going to hang on to these Skullcracks so we don't have that happen to us again. There's a chance we lose right now. There's a chance that we lose the game right now. Although, no, they have to... Oh, no, they have a fetch land in hand. Dang, they have if they have a 0-drop, they have exactly what they need. Because that fetch land will make it so they have 3 cards in their graveyard to then escape away. How unfortunate. Although they have 2 polluted deltas in hand, so maybe there's a chance they don't have a 0-drop. Let's see if we can get there. Yeah, that's what we're... Ooh, yeah, if they fetch shock. Ooh, baby. Unfortunately not. Oh, that's not an Underworld Breach. That's something else. And hello, Lord Magicus. Welcome to the stream. Imri, Lurker of the Lock. That is enough where if they do, like, if they have Underworld Breach... Ah, dang it. They got the Mox Amber. So they just... Yeah. Oh, hello. Well, I see. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming out. Yep. All right. They got us. Dang. Right there. Right there at the end. Yeah, we definitely got punished by not holding up that Skullcrack. Although, I don't know. It still felt like getting the Swift Spear out might have, I don't know. Hard to say. I guess, like, how much would that Swift Spear have sped up our clock is the question, I guess. Like, did it speed us up by a whole turn? If they didn't, weather the storm. I'm trying to think if there's any way. No, because they're literally just going to loop this Mox Amber. And I don't think there's any way that they're going to accidentally take any damage. I'm going to wait it out just in case. You never know. It's not like we're in a rush. Not like we are in a rush. So again, maybe this is an argument that we needed to mulligan to more aggressive hate. Maybe we should have been more proactive in trying to get an Eidolon or a Grafdigger's Cage in our hand, right? It's like we can say however we want. Oh, we just need to untap and win the game, or it's easy for us to say that, but again, winning at 1 life is the same as winning at 20 life. So definitely something for us to think about if we ever play this matchup again. Oh yeah, they have so much mana from that Mox Amber. I would imagine what the quickest they can combo out is turn 2. If they go land, Mox Amber, Bobble into Emery, and then they... I need to fix frame view on screen. Gotcha. Well, I have the extra frame there to like highlight the chat when it pops up, but I suppose I could just also like get rid of the frame as well. All right, we have lost that game. Here's what we can do. Got him. And I appreciate the advice. I'm definitely still learning the ropes when it comes to this, so I definitely appreciate it. All right, we are currently 2-1 going into round number 4. We just got to win one more game to break even on our ticket entry, and then if we can win 2 more, we'll be making a profit. $60 cards for our opponent. Definitely feels weird that that's a thing that we're like watching for now, is like looking at their deck size and seeing if they have 80 cards or not. This is fine. Yeah, we have turn 1 Goblin Guide, turn 2 either Burn Spell or Eidolon, turn 3 we can double spell. Seems good to me. We're going to keep it. We have double white for Lurrus, even though they're Sunbaked Canyons, which I'm not the biggest fan of, depending on the matchup. See what we're up against. We're up against Tron. Tron's a pretty good matchup for Burn. Like, I would say it's like a 60-40, maybe even higher than that. Like Tron is a pretty good matchup. Especially game 1, right? The only thing we need to worry about is them going turn 3 Wormcoil Engine. And we drew them a tower, so yikes. Yeah, if they have a Sylvan Scrying in hand, that would be pretty good for them too. They get to play that tower, crack the sphere, Sylvan Scrying. Ancient Stirrings. Let's see. We know that they have a tower. They have a power plant. We're looking for the mine. That's not a mine. Karn is fine against us. Oh, that's the tower that we know about. Another sphere. Like, the one way that we lose this is they're on the play, and then they go turn 3 Warm Coil Engine. Like, Warm Coil Engine is really the only card that is going to spell the end of the game for us. How confident do I feel that they don't have Tron next turn? If they don't, this Eidolon is going to be pretty decent because it means they're going to start digging to try to find that third Tron land, so this might actually do something. Or we could just Lightning Helix them. I think we're going to go ahead and cast the Eidolon because, like, Lightning Helix alone is not going to be enough to, like, win the game on our turn 3. So if they do or don't have Tron, we can at least attack with this Eidolon. Yeah, it's like if they play Tron next turn, we're like not in a good spot regardless. Another star. So good news is that they're going to be taking some damage, hopefully. Okay, did not matter. Uh-oh. So they have Karn. Karn, it doesn't end the game immediately. Thragtusk will, but Warm Coil Engine. That's no fun. Okay, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. Good news. Good news is I'm going to cast the Seal of Fire. And here's what we're going to do. They're going to attack with their Worm Coil Engine. We're going to block with the Goblin Guide and then shoot our Goblin Guide with Seal of Fire to avoid them from gaining life. We can hit them for 6 with these Heli. Yeah, we're just going to pass the turn. This is how Tron beats us. They play that 6/6 lifelinker. I do not have any main deck skull cracks. With Lurrus, I've definitely like gone a bit more of the aggressive plan with the Seal of Fires. If we were not, let's see, what is exiles a card from my hand. If Lurrus wasn't a thing, like right before Ikoria, I was doing 2 to 3 main deck skull cracks for things like this and for things like back when Oko was a thing and just like the Urza decks were like taking over the formats. Main deck skull cracks were really good. And if something happens to Lurrus, we'll do the same thing again next time. Okay, so they might be thinking that we have a main deck skull crack. So we're just going to... We're going to Helix them. But yeah, you're right. They do also just have enough time to just like control the game with this Karn because we are not going to be attacking them at all. Good news is that we get to empty our hand. So at least that plus 4 is not going to be getting the value that they want it to get. And we are going to pass the turn because we can do this Lightning Helix at instant speed. We're not planning on attacking. Let's see. We can hit them to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's starting. I don't know if we can win this game from here. Them exiling our other blocker is pretty bad. Star. Oh, okay, so now they can start just spewing out their hand. Whatever. We're going to Lightning Helix them now. Just for the sake of me getting to F6 through the rest of the turn. What would we like to see? There's not a whole lot. I mean, if we get a creature to try to block this Worm Coil Engine, they're just going to -3 exile it with Karn. What is this? Sundering Titan. Sundering Titan. And what are they grabbing? Okay, yeah, double. All right, we're just gonna concede this game and move on with our life. All right, great cards to bring in, especially on the play. We're gonna bring in these Smash to Smithereens. We're gonna bring in these Path to Exiles, and so let's see what's bad. These Searing Blazes are pretty bad. Does not kill literally anything. And there might be an argument that the Seal of Fire is just like worse for us because like maybe if we had been dealing 3 damages instead of 2, it could have been better. I don't know. On the play, Eidolon is pretty good because if we can turn 2 Eidolon, it's gonna be good for us. But even then, I'm gonna take out the Grim Lavamancer. That's what I'm taking out. Where are you? Grim Lavamancer does nothing for us. I'm gonna trim on a single Eidolon, just one. Oh, duh, did I not? I didn't. I can't believe I didn't click on this. Like, the ones that we for sure needed to grab. The Skull Cracks. Thank you for reminding me. I would have felt really dumb if I had hit the Submit Deck button. Question is, do I want to bring in these Hushbringers? The Hushbringer hits Thragtusk, and it also hits the Death trigger on the Wormcoil engine. So if we can, like, play Hushbringer and then smash to smithereens the Wormcoil engine, they're not going to get the 2 other ones. But I also don't want to dilute our game plan too much. I'll do it. I'm going to bring him in. And I'll cut some Lightning Helixes. Yeah, I feel good about that. I would like to play first. You would? Okay. You're right, because maybe that can help us race against, because we did see that they were playing some other bigger threats, so maybe Lightning Helix does have a bit more utility. This is a great hand if we had a second land. We Stone Cold lose the game without a second land, so we could keep it, and if we draw a second land, like, that's the game. Like, turn 1 Goblin Guide, turn 2 Goblin Guide plus Swift Spear, or like smashing a map. But what did they do? Did they oh no, I have to choose first. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. I can't like afford to lose the game. The Smash is good, Goblin Guide is good. We have literally nothing else. Well, 4 lands. It's like, do I want to go down to 5 though? Because what happens if we go down to 5 with no interaction? And it's like just a pretty mediocre 5. Or, heaven forbid we mulligan to a no-lander. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. I don't like it. We'll put a Sacred Foundry on the bottom. They mold to 6. Maybe we can get lucky and they'll mold to like 5. They don't. Okay. All right. Spiring Vantage, Goblin Guide. Oh, no. It's my upkeep. No, that's a question for the chat. Would you mulligan to 5, or would you keep that hand? Urza's mine. Well, good news. We drew them back to 7. Yes. This is... You would have gambled on the 7? Okay. Yeah, especially if this is going to happen, right? We're just going to get running Sunbaked Canyons. We're going to play it. But good news is we get to smash to smithereens this expedition map. And I feel really good about that. That is true that we do get a little bit of time to try to recover if we don't draw a second land. But, like, if they just have turn 3 Tron, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, Forest. They don't have Tron, so maybe it's not the end for us. Do I want to play this idol? I mean, yes. The answer is yes. Duh. It's like maybe, and then next turn we can start cracking these Sunbaked Canyons. Spatial Contortion. Okay. And we're going to play this Arid Mesa. Yeah, their cantrips are bad. The fact that they played a forest means they don't even have a second Tron land. That means that like they have multiple mines in their hand, which I'm feeling pretty good about. And then good news is, ooh, you know what? It depends on what we draw, of course, but another Spatial Contortion. They kept all the removal. I guess I can see that their hope is to exhaust our hand, and then just like, hey, it takes us a minute to get to Tron. Who cares? For example, if they had been on the play, like turn 2 Spatial Contortion into turn 3 Spatial Contortion is like really good, but like Lurrus laughs at that. Like that's what we're gonna do next turn. Like unless we draw something really good, we're gonna go Lurrus Goblin Guide. They got a map, but again, they're on 1 Tron land, so. And Smash is a great follow-up to all of that. I think I'm going to go ahead and shock in the Sacred Foundry. And it's lure time. I don't know, did they just like think that we like, I guess they might think that like, oh, there's like the chance of burn getting to 4 mana is like low. Because we are running 19 lands, so like us getting to just curve out like that is like very much dependent on the fact that we kept a 4 land hand. So I can definitely see the thought process, I guess. Sylvan Scrying. So they have Tron like a turn or 2 from now. They get to go Sylvan Scrying, get a tower. Okay, no, they're just gonna give up. They're just gonna give up. I liked that. I think we're gonna run that back. Let's see. You had suggested keeping in Lightning Helix. What would you have taken out instead of Lightning Helix? You don't think Hushbringer is needed? Yeah, right. Like Hushbringer. Yeah, okay. I can see that. It definitely can feel like a not enough card where it's like we're playing that when we're so far behind. Like the fact that they're getting Thragtusk or they're getting Wormcoil Engine is like probably like bad for us. So us just trying to kill them before they get to do that. Yeah, I can see that. Now, things are going to be a lot harder for us on the draw. Four lands, 1 burn spell, but 2 things of interact. Like, this hand is so dependent on, like, oh, they have... Did they mulligan? They did, so we're going to mulligan. It's like that hand was just so dependent on, like, them, like... getting Tron and then only having like 1 or 2 good things. Did they keep 6. We're going to keep. And we're going to put this mountain on the bottom. Yeah, like this has the potential for us to like race them, right? Turn 1 guide, turn 2 bolt, double bolt. Turn 3 bolt plus whatever we draw. Land into map. Yeah, Lurrus on turn 3 wouldn't be too bad too. Skullcrack is going to be nice. Skullcrack is going to be really good. Let's see. There is... Well, they have turn 3 Tron. That is for certain. Because we just drew him a tower. Okay. Smash to Smithereens is going to be pretty fine. Fortunately, we don't have any prowess creatures, so what we get to do... fortunately, we don't, so we get to attack with this Goblin Guide and then just pass the turn. Coolamog. They're gonna sack that map, get a power plant most likely. No, so that means they have a power plant in hand, and a Sanctum of Ugin. Or mine, sorry. A Wormcoil Engine. Good news for us. We are going to smash to smithereens that Wormcoil Engine. Do I want to smash right now? Or do I want to maybe see if I can draw a path to exile? Because if I can draw a path, that would be better because they don't get the 2 other ones. And then we can just smash on. No, we're going to smash now because we can maybe lightning bolt the lifelink token that they make. Boros Charm. I am going to pass the turn. Because even if I bolt that worm, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to waste 2 bolts to like attack for 2. We could even just wait with the Skullcrack. Maybe they try to play a Thragtusk next turn, so we're just going to pass. 3, 6, 9, 12. Or that's 13 if we can go Boros Charm into 3 bolts. So if we can just draw a land, I'll be feeling pretty good about it. Yes, because Skullcrack still allows us to try to win the game. That hits them to 10. And then if we draw a land, Boros Charm plus Bolt. Let's just see what they do. We need to play smart. We have the hand to win. We just have to like not let them pull ahead. Sanctum of Eugene. World Breaker. That's what we call not good. Exile. They're going to exile our Inspiring Vantage. I think we're going to... Yeah, this is like... I kind of want to... I want to Skullcrack so then that worm doesn't gain life, but then they're not going to attack with that worm, so maybe we just like... If we get the 2 drops out of our hand, it means that we can like unload our 1 drops over the next couple turns. But as long as that lifelink worm is in play, like this Skullcrack just stems the bleeding for 1 turn, so... You think Skullcrack? Okay. I will trust you on this. And then that Sanctum of Ugin is definitely going to be searching up Wormcoiled number 2. Yeah, you're right, because I'll still have 1 mana to bolt the token. That is true. Ulamog. Don't they already... Oh, no, they searched with the map. Yeah, they're very close to locking us out of the game. Especially if they cast that Ulamog next turn, which I assume that they do if they are... Like, I assume they have another tower in hand if they are searching up an Ulamog as opposed to a second Wormcoil Engine. So we need a land. A land would be really nice. Path to Exile. We can path this World Breaker. We can path the Ulamog. We're gonna pass. We're not attacking into that lifelinker. Dang. After I got super confident and said Tron was a good matchup, here I am gonna lose 0-2 to it. Yep. Tower. Here comes a Ulamog. Float a white. Or we'll path the Ulamog because we can't win if they're attacking us for 10. Oh yeah, I can path my guide to get a mountain. That's true, but they're about to hit us for what, 11? Yeah, all right. Pretty bad beat against Tron. Or no, we got one game on him at least. All right, they got it. Getting a third land a couple turns ago would have been really nice if we had drawn a land instead of this. Instead of something else that could have changed things. They just like they drew super well against us. All right, we are 2-2 going into round number 5. Let's see what we're up against. Another non-companion deck. Let's see. We won both of our matches against the companion decks, and then here we are losing to all the non-companion decks. So maybe that says something. We're keeping this hand. Excellent hand. We are going to get to activate this Lavamancer very, very soon. They're on the play, so we'll see what they do. But there might be a small chance that we play the Grim Lavamancer first. If we think the matchup is going to be... No, it's not. Okay. Oh, Dredge. Uh-oh. Okay, so we need to apply the pressure. Dredge is a bit of a rough matchup because of Creeping Chill, right? Creeping Chill means that they're at 32 life and that it just makes our life a whole lot harder. We draw them a City of Brass, unfortunately. Cathartic Reunion, Bloodstained Mire. Cool. Stinky Prized Amalgam. Uh-oh. So they're getting back that Prized Amalgam. So like just immediately all of our creatures are kind of like, our Goblin Guide is never attacking in for like, after next turn, like we're not really going to get to attack in with it. The Eidolon isn't so great right now that they already have 2 Shriekhorns out. Like it's going to hurt us more than it's going to hurt them, I feel. So I may just need to like play this Lavamancer and try to control the board that way. Well, we keep drawing them lands, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Makes their Conflagrates really good. We're just going to grab a mountain. We get to Spectacle, Skewer the Critics them. And then we're going to play this Lava Man. Not a lot of sense in trying to remove their creatures because they're just going to get them right back. Although we have a good hand. We have a lot of bolt effects. We can hit him for 3/6. We can hit him for 8 next turn. Creeping Chill. Never mind. That's 1 Creeping Chill. Triggering their Bloodghasts. If they attack with their Prized Amalgam, oh no, they're gonna Oxus. Ox of Agonis is not what we want right now. Yep. Yep. So, like I said, they are starting at 32 life, which makes this matchup very difficult. I noticed, even if we had played Eidolon this turn, how much damage would Eidolon have dealt? 0. Because Bloodghast was a triggered ability. Ox's CMC is 5. Everything else is a triggered ability. Like... Yep, they got it. All right, these Grafdigger's cages are going to be pretty nice. Skullcrack is going to be pretty good. What else do we want to bring in? Do we want to bring in Path for like Ox? I don't. I want to stick to our game plan. Hushbringer, same way. It's none of the creatures have ETBs or dying. Grafdigger's Cage is just going to be the best solution for us. We are going to get rid of probably the Eidolons. Like, we're going to get rid of 2 Eidolons. Like, on the play, it's okay to have 1 or 2. Seal of Fire is also probably not great because we are going to aggressively be mulliganing for these Grafdiggers. Maybe, right? We're going to be hoping for these Grafdigger's Cages, which does make Seal of Fire pretty weak. So I think that's what we're going to do. Cut 2 Eidolons, 2 Seal of Fire, and then maybe if we win this game and we're on the draw for game 3, we're going to cut all the Eidolons because for them getting to turn 3 with Eidolon in play is like, it doesn't matter. Everything they're doing is going to be on turn 1 and turn 2. What are they going to be bringing in is the question. Definitely some Nature's Claims. I would like to play first. I would like to reveal Lurrus. This is one of those hands where it's like, this is perfect. Like, in most matchups, this is like the hand. It's 2 creatures, some burn spells. We have 2 lands. It's like, I don't know, like, do I want to keep a hand with no interaction, right? Like, this hand in game 1 is still too slow. Like, they came out against us super, super fast. How aggressively do I... Like, I want to keep this. Like, it's so good. We have the Skullcrack. We're going to keep it. Especially on the play, right? On the play, we get to go Goblin Guide, turn 2, Swift Spear plus Lava Spike. And then from turn 3 onwards, we just hold up Skullcrack. Yeah. Maybe that's what we need to do for the future. And I also think maybe we need to go back to Rest in Peace over Grafdigger's Cage. And then just, if we're bringing in the Rest in Peace, we're taking out the Seal of Fires. Like, that just might be what we need to do from now on. Because again, right, like, Rest in Peace, like, in both of those matchups, in the Underworld Breach matchup and in this matchup, we would just rather exile everything as opposed to, like, making it where if they can get rid of the Grafdigger's Cage, they're still in business. Turn 1 Shriekhorn. Maybe we could have brought in a Smash to Smithereens, you know? Smash this Shriekhorn. We're going to go to attack. The plan will be that if they hit something, we're going to Searing Blaze it. And then if they don't, we're going to Boros Charm them. No? Not going to... Okay. I expected them to activate Shriekhorn in response, but... we are just going to... Or no. We're going to wait until the end step. Because they might activate on end step. There they go. Golgari Thug, Life from the Loam. I guess, again, that's really silly of me. I should have waited and held up the Skullcrack. Because there's no incentive for us to Boros Charm right there. Especially with this Cathartic Reunion that's about to come up. Yeah, that's a punt. Yep. Ooh, a Leyline of Sanctity. That's a spicy one. If they hit 1, it's fine. If they hit 2 or 3, it's not going to be so good. Got a little overzealous in my... Okay. Just 1 Creeping Chill. So that's fine, right? Like, not the end of the world. Let's get a land. Swift Spear. Now the question is, do we want to just hold up Skullcracker? They've had some pretty mediocre hits so far. They're going to get 1 more, so I think I just want to... I want to run out these Swift Spears. And then from here on out, we'll just hold up Skullcrack. Double Prized Amalgam and a Bloodghast, but no Creeping Chills. And we're still at a point in the game that maybe although, like, that's even another thing, right? That, okay. That's another thing, right? Grafdigger's Cage doesn't stop Creeping Chill because Creeping Chill is a triggered ability, not a, like, they're not casting it. Here comes an Ox of Agonis. So they're going to get to dredge, what, 15 cards? Oh, they're just going to Conflagrate. Okay. We're okay with that. We're not, but... Inspiring Vantage. We got him. Do I want to... Like, I want to cast the Searing Blaze because now is, like, the best time for us to cast that Searing Blaze, but I want to hold up Skullcrack because that's how we're going to lose the game, right? Is by them hitting... Because they have 20 cards left in their library. The chances of them, like, not hitting Creeping Chills now becomes very, very low. So we're going to Lava Spike them. And this sets us up where if we can just draw a Boros Charm, we will win the game. 3, 6, 7, 8. So they're going to hit us for 8. And then 9 because we're going to take 1 off of our Sunbait Canyon. 10, 11, 12. So we pretty much have to draw a Boros Charm next turn. Narcomoeba. Let's see. It depends on what they do, right? If they don't hit a Creeping Chill and we go to the instep, then we might just Searing Blaze like that Narcomoeba to get him to 6. And then that sets us up where we just need a Bolt to win the game. So it's not hopeless, but it's getting there. They have 15 cards in their library. We know what 3 of them are. Oh, and if they hit 3 Creeping Chills, it doesn't matter with the Skullcrack because they're just going to attack for 3, 6, 7, 8. And then 9, 10, 11 with 1 Creeping Chill plus the 1 from the Sunbait Canyon. So we might just have to... Let's see what they dredge. Stinkweed Imp. Creeping Chill plus Narcomoeba. Creeping Chill plus Narcomoeba. Yeah, I was saying, like, if they... Because what did they... Yeah, they dredged with their Dalkmore salvage that last time. If we got lucky and they dredged with another Stinkweed Imp, we could have, like, made it where we don't lose the game. Here's the problem that we're having, though. We almost, like, it... That's fine. The Creeping Chill puts us to 9, and they get to attack us for 3, 6. They get to attack us for 8. So, Let's see. Yeah, it like almost doesn't matter. Like we have to, if we don't cast anything, then they're just going to go up to 10, hit us down to like 2, and then nothing we draw wins us the game. If we skull crack them now, we just straight up lose the game because they get to attack us for 7, 8, 9, 10 from the creeping chill, and then 11. Wait, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11. They have 11 right here, and then this Sunbaked Canyon is 12. Maybe we shouldn't have cast the Lava Spike. Maybe we should have waited. We should have left up tap Inspiring Vantage plus Sacred Foundry to Skullcrack them. Then we survive at 1. Then we get to untap. If we draw a land or something, then we get to go Searing Blaze, Skullcrack, like win the game. But all right, I guess we're not gonna die, right? We're just gonna let it happen. Hey, good news. We know what the last 2 cards in their deck are. It is 2 Creeping Chills. Which again, right, if they... Oh, and they get to get back these all these blood ghasts. Yeah, doesn't matter. They win the game. Will Searing Blaze, they Dredge 3 next turn is a flex. Well, we know they don't get a next turn. That's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 12. Got him. Searing Blaze for 1. All right. Well, that's pretty bad. All right. So pretty okay league. We went 2-3. We had some very, very close matchups, and maybe we could have won if I had mulligan better, kept some better hands. Maybe Seal of Fire isn't what we need. Like maybe like Rift Bolt just would have been better in those situations, or maybe Mishra's Bauble is better because maybe Mishra's Bauble can draw us into those sideboard cards, right? Maybe like that one game where we had 3 Seal of Fires. If those were 3 Mishra's Baubles, maybe that draws us into our Grafdigger's Cages or our Path to Exiles or our Skullcracks a little bit better. So maybe that is like the hidden upside of running Mishra's Bauble, is that it just like allows us to get to our sideboard cards a little bit faster. That might be a thing to try. Only issue is they cost $200. So, all right. Well, I think that is going to do it for today. Thank everybody for coming out to the stream. I really, really appreciate it. I hope everyone had just a super great time. In the description of like the stream, I have like my streaming schedule. There's a link to my YouTube channel where I'm posting the replays of all of these streams, as well as maybe a couple YouTube specific content in the future. There's also a link to my Twitter. That's where I'll be posting, any updates to the streaming schedule, or I might post polls on like decks you guys want to see in the future. So if you could follow me on Twitter, it is at the Cody Hope. There's also a link down below. Well, but thank everyone so much for coming to the stream. I've been Cody. I hope you've learned something new, and I will see you next time.